Hey everybody, so in this video we're going to take a look at a concept that you learned last year, which is one-step inequalities. We're just going to do a quick review. We're going to do the first portion of this Desmos together as our notes, and then we're going to ask you to finish up the last few slides as your practice. So on slide 3, and I forgot I already had it done, move to slide 3, pause the video, and see if you can match each inequality symbol with its correct meaning. See if you remember how to do that. And then you can take a look back here in a second. Okay, so here are our 4 matches with the 4 different types of inequality symbols. So there's different ways to remember this. Usually when it says less than, you can kind of see that the symbol looks sort of like a crooked L for less than. So I think that's helpful. Obviously greater than is just the opposite. And then less than or equal to is the same symbol, the one that looks like an L, and it has like an underline underneath of it, right? That tells you that, and we're going to look at more examples, but that tells you that your solutions are going to be less than a value or also equal to that value. Here's on slide 4 a little cheat sheet. You can always come back to this during your notes and practice. This is going to show you the 4 inequality symbols that you're going to need to use, right? A couple different words that might indicate which one you need to use. And then we're going to talk about at the bottom in a minute what these diagrams mean with the dots and then the arrows. So notice that there are 2 of them are not shaded in dots and 2 of them are shaded in. So for our notes for slide 5, so in order to ride Steel Force, which is a really fun roller coaster at Dorney Park, you must be at least 48 inches tall. So at least tells us, let's see if we can find it on our cheat sheet. Here it is, it's in the bottom right. So that tells us we need to use the symbol greater than or equal to. So that's going to be your 4th option. So let's talk about why that is. So how many inches could you be to ride Steel Force? Well, you could be 48, right? Because it says at least 48 inches tall. You could be 49, 50, 60, 80, 100, right? All of those are good options, right? They're all things, the amount of inches that you could be in order to ride Steel Force. So again, since we said it's going to be greater than 48 or equal to 48, and we can always just write that again. So x is greater than or equal to 48. Oops, and we had a spot for it at the bottom. Oops. So there's our inequality. And the way that we graph this on a number line is, since it is an or equal to option, right? So less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. We're going to need to make this a closed circle at 48. And the symbol, you can think about it as like an arrow. See how this one is pointing to the right? So we're going to draw our arrow over to the right. So that means any solution that is 48 or bigger is going to work for this. All right, so if we look at slide 6, so a student has a goal to save more than $100 this year. So if we go back to slide 4, more than is our greater than symbol, right? So let's talk about why isn't it greater than or equal to? Well, when we say more than $100, does that include 100? It doesn't, right? They want to save more than 100. So maybe 101, 102, 103, and so on, right? Those are all okay options, but 100 is not included, right? That's why it's not the greater than or equal to. It's just greater than. So let's go down to the bottom, see if we can graph this one. So we know x must be greater than 100. So again, if we go back to our cheat sheet, greater than, right? It doesn't include the 100, so we're not going to do a closed circle. We're going to do an open circle, just like that. And same thing, our symbol is pointing to the right, so we're going to draw our arrow to the right. So anything bigger than 100 will work for this. All right, see if you can test out slide 7. See if you can figure out all of the values that will make x is greater than 1 a true inequality. So use the visual to help you. Okay, so here are 4 correct solutions for this, right? Really, we're just looking for anything that's on the darkened, the bold arrow, right? So 3 falls on that. 700, it's not labeled, but would be way over here, but it would still be on the shaded part of the arrow. 1.05, it's like right here, and 2.5 is right here. -3, that's way on the left side. That's not shaded, so that is not true, right? In other words, -3 is not greater than negative or than +1. And same thing with the 1, right? It's an open circle, so we know that is not including the 1. So that won't work either. Okay, so let's do a quick side-by-side comparison from an equation to an inequality. So you might see something like this, right? And there's really 2 parts to this page, so we'll break it apart. So if we saw this one-step equation, we know it's 4x equals 100. Our goal is to get just an x, so we're going to divide by 4, just like we were doing before winter break. Divide by 4, divide by 4. That gives us x equals 25, right? Not an inequality, but we can still go over and just put our dot at 25, right? There's one answer to an equation. There's only one value that you could put in for x to make that true. So with an inequality, it's a little bit different, but the way you solve it, the steps are exactly the same. So with the equation, we divided by 4 first. So we're just going to divide by 4. That gives us x and 25. But instead of putting an equal sign in between, you're going to put a less than symbol. So x is less than 25. So again, the way you solve these types of problems is exactly the same as an equation. However, when we go to graph it, we see it's a less than symbol without the equal to part. So we're going to do an open circle at 25. Symbols pointing to the left, so our arrow is going to go to the left as well. So that means anything, right? With the equation, there's only one solution. With the inequality, there's infinitely many solutions, right? Anything that is just less than 25 will work for that. All right, our final example for today is just a quick little word problem. So Student Council is selling candy canes to raise money. They charge students $2 per candy cane. They want to earn more than $150 from the sale. So we're going to say let C equal the number of candy canes sold. I'm just going to do CC. And we need to start writing our inequality for this. So they already put the C in there and some blanks, but what's going to go in this shaded box is our symbol. So I see that in the problem, it tells us more than $150. So if we go back to our slide 4, more than tells us we need to use the greater than symbol. So we can put that in. We need more than $150, right? Candy canes are $2 each. So the 2 is going to go with the C for candy canes, right? 2 times the number of candy canes. Okay, and then the 150 is going to go on this side. So again, remember from probably elementary school, right? The inequality symbol, it's like the alligator, right? It eats the side that is bigger. It's hungry. So that wants us to say $2 per candy cane, right? Whatever that is needs to be greater than 150, and that's our goal. So if we do our inequality, if we rewrite it, 2C is greater than 150. We just need to divide by 2 to get C by itself. So that means C is greater than 75. All that means is we need to sell more than 75 candy canes in order to make this work. So again, if they say graph the inequality and give you a blank number line, just start putting your numbers on. So we know 75 is the one that we're going to need to actually put the dot with. So usually put that in the middle. Then maybe make this 74, 73, 76, and 77, right? You're just doing a little chunk of the number line. At 75, hopefully you remember it's going to be an open circle, right? Because it doesn't include 75. We just want anything more than, right? Our symbol says point to the right, so we're going to put our arrow in, and we're good. A quick way to check, just so that we can see how to do this. So again, our inequality is 2c, which I'm just going to leave blank, should be greater than 150. And again, we said that the solutions to this, it's not just one answer, it's all of the numbers that are greater than 75. So just pick one. I'm going to go with 76. And we're just going to, just like we tested our solutions with equations, we're just going to go test it with an inequality. So if we do this, again, you can just plug in any number that is greater than 75. So if we put in 76, 2 times 76 gets us 152. Is that greater than 150? Sure is. So you can give it a check mark. You know that you did your steps correctly. So our final answer is student council needs to sell more than 75 candy canes, which came right from here. And that's exactly how you would do one of these word problems like this. So the next few slides, numbers 11 through 17, are just a few practice problems. If you could try them, that would be awesome. Use the examples that we just worked on together to help you. And slide 4 is your cheat sheet of the symbols. So that should really help as well. So good luck trying those and use these examples to help you.